So what is pain? I mean, what is it? It's a feeling, right? It's hard to explain, isn't it? And when you have pain and you're trying to explain it to somebody else, you tend to use metaphors. You say it feels like it's burning, it feels like it's squeezing, it feels like this, that, or the other thing is happening in my body. And you try to use those metaphors to get the other person to understand what you're feeling. Because pain is deeply personal. It's a very, very personal experience. Nobody can understand the pain that you feel. And you can't understand anybody else's pain. So we try to find these common words so that we understand each other. But the problem is you're walking around and you're fine, and people are like, well, if you're in so much pain, why are you walking around? And you're like, but I still hurt. This is still happening. So pain is complex like that. And everybody you know has pain. You probably don't know a single person who has never hurt something in their life. So pain is universal. Everybody has it. But why? Why do we have pain? Well, if you were to step on a nail, you'd want to know about it, right? I mean, what would happen if you stepped on a nail and you didn't know? I mean, you could bleed, or you could get an infection. If you let it go long enough, you could lose your foot. If you let it go even longer, you could die. You could get an infection and die. We need to know when our appendix is sick and about to burst. We need to know when we've sprained an ankle or broken a leg or are developing pneumonia. Pain motivates us to go find help, to take care of what's going on. But the problem is that the system isn't always accurate, right? Have you ever looked down and you're like, I'm bleeding. Where am I bleeding from? Why am I bleeding? And then you find the cut, and then the cut hurts. But before that, you didn't even know you were bleeding. I mean, that's a pretty big insult. You should know that you're bleeding, but sometimes you don't, right? You ever wake up and you've got a bruise and you're like, I have no idea how I got that bruise. On the other hand, paper cuts are tiny little things, but boy, do they hurt, right? And phantom limb pain, a pain where a person has had a foot amputated and it still hurts. They're like, my foot hurts. And you're like, but there's no foot there. So the system isn't always accurate. It's meant to be protective, but it's not always accurate. So sometimes, depending on when you get hurt, what's been going on, and sometimes depending on what's happened in your past, what we know now is that people who have a history of anxiety or depression or PTSD, abuse or trauma, anything like that, their nervous system bumps a little bit higher. They're a little more tightly strung, right? And pain is 100% produced in your nervous system. And when your nervous system is bumping a little bit higher, when it's a little more tightly strung, your nervous system will produce pain before it's necessary. If you're worried about something, your nervous system will produce pain so that you protect that thing that you're worried about. It's like your house alarm. And instead of telling you when somebody's trying to break in your front door, it tells you when a leaf is blowing across the lawn. Or it's like the yappy dog, where instead of telling you when somebody is in your yard that you don't want in your yard, it tells you when a school bus is going down the road, right? It's just a little sensitive. It sends signals before it's absolutely necessary.